most disrespected people on earth. It's because we are considered poor. And this was by design. From when the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves, systems were put in place to see to it that we will never have financial independence. We will never have financial liberation. In Africa, a term of independence from the 1950s to the 1960s, we were given this limited fake liberation, fake political liberation, liberation that to a great extent they use their funds to make sure that they choose who they want to be the leaders of our nations. What was never given to us was economic liberation. Those multinational companies that operated in Africa from colonization, they simply went underground. They went low. They no longer talked about their activities in Africa, but they never left since colonization. I want everybody to understand that. During colonization, after the Berlin Conference, when they divided us up into the tiny little countries that we are today, if you were colonized by the British, you were ruled from London. If you were colonized by the French, we were ruled from France, from Paris, and so forth. What happened as we were being given our independence, they simply came up with a strategy to say, these monkeys, like they called us, they're trying to wake up now. Well, we're gonna show them who really is important. We'll give them this fake independence. Those who tried to wake up and began to look like they understand the game and they wanted to play the rules fairly, they got killed. They were assassinated. And so the few that stayed behind, they got scared and they stopped talking. So this is really where we are. Where leaders were scared into talking, were scared into speaking truth to power, were scared into standing up and defending ourselves because of the consequences of defending your turf. And so while all that is going on, the conversation that never took place was the conversation about economic liberation. We're talking about how do we take back Africa's natural resources? How do we control our natural resources? That liberation was never given to us. And we all jump on the bandwagon and think we are free. Yeah, we are free and poor. We are free, we have some power with no knowledge, power with no financial base to back it. It's useless power. It's like telling me you can go fight, but I have no guns. And those I'm fighting with have guns. And that is the situation we're in as Africans. Today, we're saying we must educate and inform each other about what is going on in Africa, particularly when it comes to our natural resources under the ground. That is a conversation we don't even go to. And yet, if we are to liberate ourselves as Black people in Africa and around the world, that is where we should start the conversation. It's about how we take over our natural resources, starting with mining. If I may remind all of you today, as we speak, 75% of the minerals being traded at the London Stock Exchange are coming from Africa, and none of them are owned by us, the children of Africa. There's something wrong with that situation. But the good news is, in spite of that exploitation of centuries, in spite of the continued presence of multinationals who continue to siphon trillions of dollars out of Africa every year, studies are showing that they've only tapped into maybe 10% of Africa's wealth. And every day, more and more natural resources are being discovered in your beloved continent. So you see, we are endowed with an amazing continent. No matter how much they try to exploit Africa, the riches are limitless, and that is who you are, and that's where you come from, and you own that. The question is, as an African diaspora, are you even aware of that? Are you even aware of what is going on in your Africa? So we are here to say, for those of us in the diaspora, we are privileged to live in this country, in the United States. We live in whatever countries that we live. We have made lots of friends, even your friends who are not Africans, who are not African diaspora, they need to know. Because when it comes to trading, it's about relationships. So in my case, and I talk about the United States, I also realize that my own friends who don't look like me, they too don't even know about Africa. They don't understand Africa. So while we talk about organizing in order to take the driver's seat of Africa's development, we must also make sure that we talk to our friends, because they need to come along as long as they understand we are leading this show. For us to lead the show, we must know the facts and what the facts are. So today, the conversation is about letting you know, my brothers and sisters, that mining is how we are going to reclaim our economic liberation. Let me give you a simple example. If I were to give any of you, my sons and daughters, $40 million, you can, and I'll give you that $40 million and I'll tell you in 3 days, I want it back. Well, guess what? I will send you to a young man in Ghana, or a young man in South Sudan, or a young man or woman in DRC, or Tanzania, or Uganda, who I know right now as we speak. All those countries I've mentioned, I know people who are sitting at a minimum of 1,000 kilograms of gold. You heard me. As we speak, I can connect you with someone in those countries that is sitting on 1,000 kilograms of gold. So what you will do, my son or daughter, you will fly into Ghana. You will immediately connect with that individual. You go to the refinery. You confirm that the gold is indeed gold, that is not copper covered with a little bit of gold, which that happens too. Once you confirm that what you have indeed is gold, you pay your taxes. And in Ghana, they've simplified the process so well. At the airport, that's where the refinery is. You confirm that is your gold, and they're jets waiting at the airport, ready to fly into Dubai, fly into wherever you want them to go. And you pick up your gold from Accra, you pay 40 million, 45 million for your gold, and you fly into Accra, into Dubai. As you land into Dubai, you sell your gold for whatever the going rate is for that day. Right now, it's averaging around 55,000 per kilo. So you would have converted your $40 million, depending on what you negotiate, and within 6 hours flight to Dubai, you have made 10 million, and you pay your mama back. This, my brothers and sisters, is happening every day in Africa. People are going to Africa poor, and they come back rich in no time. Now, what we want to talk about here as ADDI, we are saying we're not going to take the gold into Dubai. Picture a situation that we buy that gold, and we now looking at buying and owning our own bank. We now put that gold into a vault in our own bank, because keep in mind, the people in Dubai who are buying that gold from Africa, the people in Asia, China, Hong Kong, they're keeping the gold in their vaults, in their bank vaults, and issuing financial instruments. They are keeping that gold in their bank vaults and issuing financial instruments. Now I need you to follow me closely here. So now this person in Dubai, this person in Hong Kong, this person in China who got the gold, and you got your $55 million, and you go back and pay mama back 40 million. Now you got a little bit of money and you're so happy you think you've done it.